It is showtime. It is showtime. It is showtime. Live. I guys, first of all, I must apologize the delay. Uh, of today's episode of Prime Time, I gotta delay it. Um, have a couple of things I had to take care. I gotta take care of my bills. It's so stressful. It's very for over to myself. But get ready to start the show. I got some things I need to talk about. If you are a tech nerd like I am, we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is Star Wars weekend. May the 4th be with you. If you have any questions, how to build a PC, how to set up a network, how to have dedicated home theater and supplies. Uh, so we're going to do that. We might warm up some peach cobbler and have a good day. Might be a mini marathon. You never know on prime time. And we're going to start right after this word. Good evening, content creators. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Friday TGIF, aka That God is Friday. Welcome to Prime Time. Welcome to Tech Show Star Wars Weekend. How y'all guys doing? It's been one of those crazy weeks. One of those crazy weeks. I'm telling you, it's one of those things you're going to say, what in the world is going on? Why is this happening to us? So we're going to talk about that. Let's go talk about tomorrow morning. That's why you get ready. Tomorrow, Star Wars weekend, and then start on Monday. My official diet will begin. And you're going to say, Z, why are you going on a diet? I'm going on a diet because I'm fat. And by the way, this live event is PG-18. That means anything can happen, and it usually does. Uh, we're going to talk about some tech stuff. See if we can get anybody on here that wants to do tech. Uh, if not, we'll just. I got a couple of friends I've been watching on YouTube on my show on the Z's Gaming Home Theater. We're going to talk about that. Was how to build a dedicated home theater. Also, going to talk about how to build a PC, which is pretty cool. So, but guys, I know I'm supposed to be on a little bit earlier, but I took a nap. After this week, I needed a nap. Uh, I'll tell you that a little bit later, but first and foremost, um, yes, I know. This might be a mini marathon. If you want to be on the show, I'm sending out the links right now. If you want to be on the show, let me guess. Let's see here. Kuzu Keith is on, so he's taking all of my people. Yeah. Let's see here. All this is quite, but so if we had commercials, sorry about the commercials. I gotta fix that. Let's see here. Let's see if we can have. Yeah, no. We got Sean. Let's see. See, I'm working. I can't do that. We got Mike. Dun, 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 dun. So we're gonna stay here as much as we can. Okay? Yes, we gotta stay. We gotta do a lot of stuff as much as we can. I gotta get some hours. Oh, my computer is going crazy. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we got a guy how to build a PC step by step until we get somebody on here. Yeah, we can talk about the movies, but he does step by step. I'm gonna be careful because he probably has some commercials on here. I was trying to find a live one, but they're not doing it live. Maybe I should do it live. All right, here we go.
Hello and welcome. If you're planning on building your very first PC, then you click on the right video. This is a full in-depth, step-by-step build guide on not only building a PC, but also setting it up as well. Because building a PC is only the first half. You still have to set it up. We need to download and install the Windows operating system, download and install the drivers, set up XMP profile in the BIOS along with other Windows settings to make sure your PC is running at its full potential. We're going to be doing all of that in this video. If this is your first time building a PC and you don't quite have the confidence for it because maybe you're afraid of damaging something in the process, or maybe you're afraid of your PC not booting up for the first time, I'm here to tell you that it's going to be okay. All right, I get it, guys. This can be very intimidating for beginners. I've been there. I know what it feels like. That's why I'm going to take my time in this video and guide you guys step by step from the very beginning all the way to the end. I'm going to make sure you do everything correctly. So these are all the parts I'll be using for this build guide, but don't freak out if your parts are completely different because building a PC is very similar. It doesn't matter if you're going Intel, AMD, or NVIDIA, okay? You can follow along in this build guide for whatever PC you're building yourself. But just in case if you guys like this PC and you want to build this exact same one, I'll drop a link to all the parts down below. All right, so before we begin the build guide, I think it's really important for you guys to understand what goes inside a PC and what each of these components do. Even if you've built a PC before, I'm pretty confident you might learn something new. So all PCs have 7 main components. So we're going to start off with the CPU, also known as the central processing unit. It is kind of like the brain of the PC. It is the core component. It is responsible for processing and executing instructions to the rest of the components in the build.
CPU
sits on the motherboard socket, another component needed for a functional PC. The motherboard is the backbone that ties the computer's components together at one spot and allows them to talk to each other. Think of the motherboard as the body. These come in various different sizes, ranging from tiny, mini ATX form factor all the way to extended ATX. They also come in different socket types and chipset. Next up is memory. Every PC needs at least one stick of RAM to function. Random access memory, or RAM, is one of the most important components in determining your system's performance. RAM gives applications a place to store and access data on a short-term basis. It stores the information your computer is actively using so that it can be accessed quickly. The frequency of the memory is just as important as the CO timing. Depending on your budget, you always want to go for the highest frequency possible with the lowest CO timing on memory, especially if you're building an AMD PC. That's because Ryzen systems run better on faster memory. The sweet spot you always want to aim for is at least 3200 megahertz with a CPU.
Okay, so he got the brief description of what you need. And he is correct. You need 7 components to build a PC. Now, first things first. Now, if you're going to build a PC, you want to do it by scratch, or you want to get a pre-built PC from Amazon. It is up to you. It is up to you. It's up to you how you want your PC. Do you want it for basic computer? For your wife or girlfriend to put in the living room, put a desk, put all your recipes, tax stuff, minor games, none of that. But yeah, so basically, here's the 2 things, the 2 main components for your PC. Well, actually, there's 3 of them. There are 3 main components for a PC that I recommend you have. Now, here's the data. Research is key. Research is key. Now, there are 2 sites you could go. Actually, there's 3. First and foremost, you go to YouTube. There are many, many people building PCs and doing it on TV, doing it on video, doing it live. So if you want to just do this as a project, I recommend you do that. So here we go. The 3 key components. That's a lot of components that I recommend you do this. Now, before you start building a PC, you need a body. And yes, I am a fat body. I'm fat. Okay? But seriously, you need a body to start building your PC. Now, there are 3 types of bodies. It's called a mini tower, a mid tower, and a full tower. Mini tower is for mini components like a mini PCU, mini motherboard, and stuff like that. If you want to just put it for your kid, or your wife is in training, just give them a mini PC, get the components like that. Mid tower is for like a teenager. You don't want to give it too much power for the teenager in the room and stuff like that. But what I'm planning on doing is doing a full tower. This is what I want to talk about. Now you got the tower, you pick a tower. Now, like I said, there are 2 main sites you need to go. Amazon and Newegg. Amazon and Newegg. Yeah, so you pick that, you pick your components. You got your motherboard, which is another part of your body, and you got CPU, aka the brain. Now you can buy different components, or you can buy it as a combo. A combo is a motherboard PCU. The PCU, the CPU, and the motherboard are compatible with each other. So that's what he's here to say. Try to simple it out for people. And we're going to continue with this. This guy is pretty good. He does it step by step. I like him. By the way, let's see here. Over there's another commercial. But here we go.
CL16 timing with 16 gigabytes capacity. If your budget allows for faster RAM, try and get 3600 megahertz CL16 memory. 16 gigabytes is plenty for gaming in 2021. However, if you plan on using a PC as a workstation, for example, lots of multitasking and heavy application use like editing videos, 3D modeling, or any demanding program, then it would be a great idea to invest in more memory. Also, it's really good to keep in mind, if you decide to upgrade your memory later down the line, make sure you are buying the same exact memory.
About a commercial.
This game, you're not ready for it.
That your current system has. Same capacity, same frequency, and the same CL timing to avoid performance issues. One of the most common mistakes I see in PC building all the time is that people don't enable XMP in the BIOS to take advantage of the memory's full speed. Your memory, by default, is running at half the frequency. In order to take advantage of the performance, you have to go into the BIOS and manually turn it on. If you want to check and see yourself if your memory is running at its full speed, go into your task manager, go into performance, click the memory, and check the speed of your memory. If you always wonder why your PC is underperforming or running a lot slower than other PCs with similar specs, then 99% of the time it means that your XMP is not enabled in the BIOS. But don't worry, I'm going to show you guys how to do it correctly at the end of the video. It's kind of like buying a high refresh rate monitor and not going into the settings and changing it, because by default, most monitors come out of the box with a 60 Hz refresh rate. You have to actually go into the display settings and change the refresh rate yourself. Pretty much the same concept here. All right, moving on to the CPU cooler. The CPU cooler is optional in most cases. A lot of AMD CPUs come with a cooler already included. However, if your CPU does not, it is required to go with a capable cooler that will not only keep your CPU nice and cool, but also something that's quiet. If you're on a budget.
Okay, now a CPU cooler, what he's saying is you need to keep your CPU cool. It's like if you're running a temperature, if you got a fever and you keep burning up, you got to cool yourself. So a CPU cooler plus your fans. You got to have fans on your PC so your PC is constantly moving. it's constantly generating heat. Wow, heat. And the heat is on. I don't have nobody coming in. So, so this is just a test for me. So this will be a video series, to put it that way. Um, basically, the CPU will be coming in. It's a attachment to your motherboard that cools the CPU. It cools your brain on a computer. It keeps it cool. Your fan is like AC, just keeping it cool. Keep it. You don't want a hot CPU. CPU is going to be running a little bit fast, so you want to keep it nice and comfortable, so you won't fire your computer. A lot of people have done that. I have done that. I forgot to put the CPU on. Yeah. Uh, one of my PCs, when it gets working, it works too much, it overheats and it shuts down. And that PC is my first baby. So it's in a hospital right now. It's in a hospital right now. Let's see who anybody else is. I'm just making this up. So yes. All right, let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. School's in session. But yeah, building a PC is a lot of fun. It's my next day. I'm building a NAS system, a network tech storage system. So yes, we're going to talk about that in just a second. So we're going to go ahead and put this on here and say continue.
I can leave a link to a few coolers that I recommend picking up. Alternatively, if your CPU does come with a cooler, but you want to get something nicer, into something with RGB lighting, then I'll drop some links to those coolers as well. For this video, I'll be going with the Corsair H150i Elite Caplets, which is an all-in-one liquid cooler that's going to look amazing in this build. Moving on to the most popular component in any PC, the GPU. To keep it simple and straightforward, the graphics.
Okay, so the next step, you think you're finished with your computer. So you got your motherboard, you got a CPU, you got your memory. You need a eyes on your computer. It's called GPU, graphics card. Now, some new PCs have a basic graphics card. Now, if you're a gamer or a home theater nut, which I am a combination of both, you gotta have a high-grade GPU. It is a graphics card. It provides graphics for your PC. It's a lot of fun. It keeps me busy. It really does keep me busy. So let me go ahead and do this. Just check it on here. We got first contestant. We got Chris Nuts in the house. Chris Nuts, how you doing, bro? We're having class today. We're having class today. We're doing a subject that we all need to have. Guys, you gotta have a man cave. You gotta have a dedicated room for yourself. I'm just saying. So, okay, then we got Destination Fun is driving and listening. Thank you for coming in. And yes, Danny, this one's for you, bro. We are discussing how to build a PC for beginners. We got video. I got a guy that I paused this video. He's just telling you the basic stuff how to build a PC. I'll go over it real quick. So if you want to build a PC, do your research, buy you a tower. You can design your own tower. You can build it any way you want, any kind of tower. You can do it, a mini, a mid tower, and a full tower. Now I know Danny has a full tower, and he is a gamer. So I wish he was at home and he could help me here. Here we go. We got Embarkation Nation says no need for yeah. You're getting ready to get married, so you don't have a room. Anyway, we're going to do this. This is if you're going to be a man cave, if you're going to have a studio, if you're going to be a studio or a content creator, we got a lot of things to talk about. So let me go ahead and do a real quick review. Now, if you're building a PC, you got to do research. You got to buy your memory. You got to buy you a CPU. I recommend you buy a CPU motherboard combination. Now, these CPUs will be compatible with your motherboard. Your motherboard is part of your body of a computer. The tower is a frame of your body. It's your frame. So that's what the tower, it shows you how to do it. It's easy. It takes at least 45 minutes or an hour to completely do it. You gotta have a graphics card. Danny is a gamer. He probably has the sickest graphics card. Probably have the sickest graphics card on his PC because he's a gamer. So that's what I'm doing. Yes. So we're gonna continue with this guy. If you guys have any questions, I'm getting a red alert. I got another red alert. Let's see here. Let's see here. School's in session, yes. No. I didn't want Jennifer. No, I didn't watch Bobby. I did not watch Bobby because it's not. They didn't win the Oscar for Best Picture. Oppenheimer is a great movie. You need to get that. If you want to know what happened during World War II, that is a great movie. That is the best movie, Best Picture. Not Barbie, but Oppenheimer. All right, we're going to continue. We got some stuff here. I'm going to play him. I'm going to go ahead and do this real quickly. Modify that. Yes. Oh, like I said, I was sleeping. You know, when you get old, like I am, you get old, you got to take that nap. After a incredible young and restless. Guys, if you're watching this on the Cruise channel, if you're watching this the gaming channel, welcome in. We are discussing tonight how to build a PC, how to set up your dedicated studio, home theater, or man cave. Let's see here. Dun. So welcome everybody into the house. Yes, this will be a mini marathon. You know why? No, I don't watch Kevin Mall. I watch the old school Kevin Mall where he's the guy. So, let's see. The superhero that I like is Kill Bill because he is the man with Bruce Lee. Anyways, I'll get off track here. Let me go ahead and do this. All right, we're gonna go back here. If you have any questions, I'm gonna check on Facebook. I'm gonna check on YouTube. And we're gonna continue. All right, here we go. Hope he doesn't have a.
This card is what provides the graphics to your PC. The graphics card also determines how well your games run on your PC and how fast it renders out projects using GPU acceleration. The better the graphics card, the higher the frames per second in-game and faster render times. The higher the FPS in-game, the smoother your games will look and feel, bringing lots of joy and happiness. The graphics card I'm using for this build is a custom modded AMD RX 6800. This card is an ideal upgrade for gamers looking to play comfortably in 1440p or entry-level 4K gaming. And as you guys can see, I painted mine in white to stay consistent with the color scheme of the build. The power supply unit is the thing that provides power to all of your components. Using an insufficient power supply will cause many issues for your PC.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about, after you get all your components, you're going to put it together. The first thing you want to put in your tower is your power supply. Now, to determine your power supply, you're going to have so much stuff on your computer. You're going to have your graphics card. You're going to have your motherboard. You're going to have your hard drive so you can have sufficient power. I recommend the specs on that. Check your power. Check out the graphics card you're going to get. Check out your motherboard and CPU. Make sure you have plenty of power. So more power. You have more power on your power supply. It'll run your PC smooth. I said that pretty good. Smooth. Oh, Danny's not a beginner. See, Danny is not. Yes, I know Danny's not a beginner, but he's never on the show. Danny, if you, Danny's highly advanced, but he works. So I wish he could come on the show, but y'all jobbing, y'all doing that couples thing. Y'all doing couples thing. I understand, but this is for beginners, and will be advanced. And yes, I am a rookie when it comes to building. Let's see here. All right, so we got that going on. We'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, continue.
See, like system instability and major crashes, not to mention no room for expandability or overclocking. It's always recommended to buy at least 100 watts more than what you need to cover future upgrades to your system. If you want to know how much power your PC needs, use the power supply calculator from Outer Vision. I'll drop a link to it down below. You also want to avoid buying cheap power supplies.
Yes.
Set up a KDO in your PC and have it potentially damage the rest of your components.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to well-known brands while going with a high efficiency rating as long as your budget allows it. There are also 3 types of power supplies: non-modular, semi-modular, and fully modular. Fully modular power supplies are more on the pricier side since all the cables are fully detachable, allowing you to plug in just the cables you need for the build. Semi-modular power supplies, on the other hand, only have a few detachable cables. Storage. Your PC definitely needs at least one source of storage that holds your operating system on. There are also different types of storage. M.2 SSDs are the smallest and usually the fastest drives out there, but also cost the most. Then we got traditional 2.5-inch SSDs and then hard drives, the slowest but cheapest options out there. I always recommend going with at least one M.2 or traditional SSD as your main drive, because not only will your PC boot faster to the desktop, but also any application or game you put on there will load up faster as well. Hard drives are really great for secondary or mass storage. The case is pretty self-explanatory.
All right, so let me stop this real quickly. Hard drives. Let's talk about it. Now, you need a hard drive as part of your brain of your system. It holds all the information you have. It will hold all your movies, all your documents, all your downloads, all your pictures, music stuff. Now, you had three, like you said, you had 3 different kinds of hard drives. A main SSD drive, I recommend that. That will help your computer go faster. It helps you load up your operating system, your programs and all that, and your documents. A regular, when you see those big old blocks of your hard drives, now there are 2 different kinds of hard drives. The main big block is for main people that have regular stuff. If you have a NAS device, you want to get a NAS hard drive. So I'll tell you that when we're later. But yes, he's going to show you all the parts. Well, I'm going to explain to the parts what he's talking about. It's pretty cool. I like doing this. It's a lot of fun. If you have any questions, let me know. In my case today, wants to know, is this Tech Talk or Cruise Talk? If in my case you can read, what is the title? What is the title? What is the title? It's the Z Show Cruise Fun, and it's also Z's Gaming. But the title is the Tech Show / Star Wars Weekend. Now, I send you some invites, but you don't want to come to my show. Are you afraid to come to my show? But we are, and it's also prime time. It's also prime time. I like doing that. But yes, I need to do this. Um, because it says, just as the title, Take Show Star Wars Weekend. Now, the Take Show is if you have plenty of movies, which I do, and I don't want to pay money for Netflix for stuff I don't watch. The stuff I don't have Netflix. I have my own stuff. I don't have Spotify because I had my music. It's mine. Spotify, you don't own that music. They get Spotify can take it off of their playlists. Remember that. Especially when you're paying money for Spotify, you can't find the music you want. I found some music that Spotify does not have. I'm old school. I like old school 80s. I like breakdance music. I like techno. I like trance. Spotify don't have that. And I'm wasting my money on Spotify. But yes. So we're doing a little bit of both. We're doing all three at the same time. All right. Here we go. Continue.
It holds all the parts together in a very stylish way. I'll be using the Corsair 5000X RGB full ATX power to build this PC in because it looks amazing, offers great airflow, and has tons of support for fan and radiator configurations. So yeah, these are all the parts I'll be using for the build guide. Aside from these, this is also what you'll need to build a PC. A Phillips head screwdriver. I like to use an electric one for convenience, plus it comes with a magnetic work mat which helps me keep all the loose screws all in one place. An empty USB drive with at least 8 gigabytes of space is needed so that we can download and install the Windows operating system for the PC. And speaking of the operating system, you will need to purchase a Windows key to activate your OS. It doesn't matter where you buy it from, as long as you buy the correct version of the OS that matches the version we are going to download on the USB drive. There is a super cheap option on yourcdkey.com where you can pick one up for less than $20. So make sure to use the code TS20 to get that extra discount. I've been using these guys for years on all of my PC builds on the channel. They are reliable and trustworthy. Also, make sure you guys are building on an even, flat surface, preferably a wooden tabletop if you have one. You don't have to worry about buying an anti-static wrist rest. I've built over 100 functioning PCs without one, so don't worry about that. It takes a lot of static to damage a PC component, so you guys are fine. But if you're building a
Okay, commercial. Okay, we got a commercial. I'll let the commercial play before I continue. If you're building a PC, I don't recommend you build it on a carpet surface. You could probably build it in your kitchen or dining area. If your wife or girlfriend lets you do that, you know how they are. They won't let you do anything. But you build a PC. You want to have a flat surface. You want to demagnetize yourself. All that static electricity could ruin your PCU, all your components. So you better be careful. Plain surface will be fine. Let's see here. Dun-dun. All right. Let's see if I can do that. Yep. But yeah, just be ready. Hold on. Uh-oh. All right, here we go. Hello.
You call me?
Yes, I did.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't answer. I've been working. So,
How you been?
oh, pretty good. How have you been?
No, I'm doing good. I talked to JJ.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. What's going on? Can you talk?
Yeah, I can talk.
Okay, what's going on? Well, you haven't seen JJ in a while.
No, I have not seen JJ or Nino for a while. Then, when Dustin was in one of his modes of going off, he hit me a couple times on the arms and stuff. I was going to delete her more so. I was upset and stuff. And, I prayed about it. I want my marriage to work, we prayed. I prayed about it with God and stuff. And my sister said he could come back to church there.
I understand why she is afraid. She doesn't.
Yeah, I know. She's afraid, and I understand the reason
that way you don't damage the cable. The last thing I want is for you guys to get the belt from your dad. It's better to be safe than sorry. But yeah, we're all covered. We are now ready to build the PC. Alright, so let's start off taking the motherboard and the rest of the accessories out of its box. Start off taking the motherboard with the plastic bag out of the box and placing it on the side. Underneath that, there will be a bunch of extra things that you will need. If your motherboard comes with a front panel connector extension, take that out as well. We're also going to take out the SATA cables. You will need one SATA cable for each storage device that you are installing. In my case, I'm installing an SSD, so I'll need a cable for that, and I'll need a second cable for the hard drive. If you're not installing an SSD or hard drive, then you don't need any of these cables. If your motherboard has a built-in Wi-Fi, then you will need to take out the Wi-Fi extender as well. We will need this to connect to the internet after the PC is built. If your motherboard comes with an M.2 installation screw, then take that out as well. You will need this to install your M.2 SSD. Now, if it doesn't come with one, then it means your motherboard already has this installed, so don't worry about it. You're also going to need the I/O shield if your motherboard comes with one. Otherwise, it's probably attached to your motherboard like it is in mine. And finally, we're going to take out the manual as it can come in handy at times. Carefully remove the motherboard from its anti-static bag and be careful not to touch the components on the top and back. Make sure to grab the board from its sides. Afterwards, gently place it on top of the motherboard box. This will protect the board from getting damaged as we install the CPU, memory, and storage. We are now ready to install the CPU. Carefully open the CPU box and pull out the CPU from the protective case by holding it from its sides. Make sure not to touch the top surface of the CPU or the bottom, especially if you're using an AMD CPU, because the pins underneath the CPU can easily get bent, damaging the CPU in the process. Most CPUs have a triangle located on the corner. This indicates the direction you have to install the CPU onto the motherboard socket. I'm going to show you the process of installing 3 different CPUs. We have AMD, Intel, and AMD's Threadripper CPU as well. So identify the CPU you are installing and skip ahead to that part of the video using the timestamps listed on the screen. Okay, so we're installing an AMD AM4 CPU. So grab the CPU by its sides and locate the golden triangle. Usually if you're looking directly at the CPU, it's on the bottom left. We're going to match that triangle to the triangle located on the motherboard socket. If you look closely on your AMD motherboard, you can see a triangle cut out on the top left corner of the socket. It's very small, but it is there. In my case, it's pointing to the top left corner. So I'm going to position the CPU so that the gold triangle from the CPU is also positioned in the top left corner. I'm basically matching the triangles together from the socket and the CPU. Afterwards, we're going to have to lift the lever to the top. Do not force the lever as it can break easily. While grabbing the CPU from its sides, we're going to lower it down very gently onto the socket and let it fall in place. Do not touch the surface of the CPU and do not apply any force. Gravity should do the job and the CPU will naturally fall in place. Before moving on, check all 4 sides of the CPU and make sure it is fully seated on the socket. If everything looks good, gently lower the lever down, locking the CPU in place. Congratulations, you just installed your CPU. Pretty easy so far, right? Okay, so we're installing the Intel CPU. So grab the CPU by its sides and locate the golden triangle. Usually if you're looking directly at the CPU, it's on the bottom left. This can vary depending on the socket type.
This is why I stopped shopping on Amazon, and you should too. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
Watch this. I can show you how to get the sweetest deals online when you shop from major retailers like Amazon and Target. You can drop prices automatically. I can show you how, but I can't do it for you. People are saving real money doing this. $160 million in the last year. Across thousands of different retailers, you'll immediately see this. See what I mean? You'll see better prices you had no idea existed. And you don't even have to ask. They just show up automatically. Download this free tool that will give you access to the deals. Just click, done. That's it. Simple. It takes all of 10 seconds. And there's no need to enter any personal information. There's no technical mumbo jumbo. It's that easy. What are you waiting for? It takes less than 30 seconds to start saving. And this is all 100% free.
Period or after you fill. Well, so this happened. Did he hurt you at the church? Did he hit you at the church? So, I hate to say that recovery for him. I hate to say that he is recovering from him. It's for him. And it's toward a relationship. That's, trust me, you don't want to.
Jimmy Butler likes Newcastle Live TV.
It's got over 95 live channels.
Jimmy Butler's Butler is old school. He doesn't realise who Newcastle Live TV is like.
Well, that means
Having the better pockets.
Fun fact, the triangle is actually more larger on Intel CPUs compared to AMD's. If you look closely on your Intel motherboard, you can see a small triangle cut out on the socket cover. In my case, it's located on the bottom left. We're going to position the CPU so that the gold triangle from the CPU is also positioned in the bottom left corner. We're basically matching the triangles together from the socket and the CPU. Afterwards, we're going to slide the lever to the right and up to open the socket. While grabbing the CPU from the sides, we're going to gently lower it down onto the socket and put it all in place. Do not touch the surface of the CPU and do not apply any force. Gravity should do the job and the CPU will naturally fall into place. If everything looks good, gently lower the cover down first so that the flap sits underneath the 12th screw. Afterwards, you can proceed to lower down the lever, locking the CPU in place. The black cover will pop off afterwards, but if it doesn't, just pull it off your CPU. Congratulations, you just installed your CPU. Pretty easy so far, right? Okay, so you're one of the very few elite out there to buy a Threadripper CPU. Let's get this baby installed. Obviously, you'll need the CPU itself, but you'll also need the install tool that it comes with. It has an orange handle, so you can't miss it. Take your time to gently open the Threadripper box and slide out the CPU. I want you to enjoy this process because it is a very joyous occasion. Make sure not to touch the surface of the CPU or the bottom. Always grab the CPU from the sides. Notice there are numbers on the socket. It indicates the order of opening and closing the socket. So to open the socket, we will have to loosen the screws in this exact order, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we are now ready to install the CPU. Grab the torque driver and start loosening up the socket in the order indicated. We're going to start from 3, then move over to 2, and finally socket number 1. The socket will spring open, so don't freak out. Go ahead and grab both of the blue tabs on the top and pull them up. We're also going to remove the gray protective piece that's on the socket. Now this part is a little tricky. You have to gently slide in the CPU against the rails, but make sure to do it slowly so that it doesn't derail and pop off the bracket. Here's another angle of the installation. We are starting from the top and slowly sliding the CPU down against the rail. Once the CPU is safely on the bottom, we are ready to lower the CPU down onto the socket. While you're holding down on the blue tabs, lower the entire CPU down until you hear it click.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. I had a, I didn't forget I was, I'm a busy man. It's one of my friends, one of my friends having problems. So she called, I told her to call me back tomorrow. It's one of my friends through my other friend. Well, sorry about that. I put that on there, but yes, yeah, I'm telling you, it's prime time. Anything can happen. And I don't see anybody want to come up, so we're going to put the panel. Why? Are you guys afraid of me? I know some people are, let's see here. Yes, we got 7 people in the house. We have 7 people watching. Sorry about that. But we are continuing with how to build a PC. We're going to go back. Oh, you know what? I am. This is lucky you got. Lucky I have some people watching because I missed my Friday Night SmackDown, but that's okay. We got some people in here and want to know about the home theater PC. Let me go back on here. This guy is pretty good. Let me go ahead and do this. So he's installing the CPU into the motherboard, and this is a very difficult. I've done it one time.
Then we can lower the top bracket, and as you're holding it down, we can tighten the bracket in place by going backwards. Remember we did 3, 2, 1 to open it. Now we're doing 1, 2, 3 to lock it. Make sure to tighten each screw all the way until you hear the tool click. Don't be afraid to use some force until you hear the click. That's it. You officially installed a Threadripper CPU. Congrats. Pretty easy so far, right? Okay, we are now ready to move on to the memory installation. Most mainstream motherboards have 4 DIMM slots, 1 for each memory stick you are installing. If you're installing 4 memory sticks, then you can just fill up all the slots. But if you're installing 2, then you need to install them in the correct slots to take advantage of dual channel. Most boards will have a diagram labeled right on the motherboard next to the DIMM slots. This will tell you what slots you need to occupy first. If it's not labeled on your motherboard, you can find it in your manual. So if you're installing 2 memory sticks, you need to install the first stick in slot A2 and the second stick into slot B2. First thing we need to do is remove the tabs on the slots that you are going to install the memory in. So if we're installing 2 memory sticks, for example, we are going to open up the tabs from slot number 2 and slot number 4. Every memory stick has a gap in the middle, as you can see here. We are going to align the gap on the memory to the notch on the DIMM slot. Once we have the correct orientation of the RAM, lower the memory stick down and apply firm pressure to snap it in place. If you successfully install the RAM stick, then the tabs on the sides will be closed. So double check your memory and make sure all the sticks are properly seated.
All right, so basically, he's telling you, everybody, that when you install your memory sticks, it depends on the motherboard specs. You can put up to 32 gigs, right? 32 gigabytes DDR4. That's why we recommend you do. Make sure your memory sticks fit your CPU. That's why you got to do some research on this before you go ahead and go ahead and do all this stuff. Just see, I like this stuff. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't want to. Let's see here. Dun, dun. Prime time is in an hour. Well, prime time is right now, young lady. See, yeah. You got serious. Hey, it's a brain damage. But yeah, let me go ahead and do this. So yeah, he's telling you how to build. He's telling you how to put in your memory slots. I recommend DDR4. I know DDR5 is out. It's been out less than a year, so it hasn't been fully tested in a real time situation. Danny knows how to do all this stuff. And Danny got your marcation saying 1 hour before the real prime time. See, you know what? Here's the thing. The real prime time is right here. You know why? Because I let anybody come on to my show. I'm not picky. This is real prime time. This is the original prime time. So I'm not scared to let anybody on here. Let me go ahead and put this up there. This is real prime. Anything is possible. Yes, I get a vision. Yes. And I got a motorcycle coming. And but yes. So let's see here. All right, there we go. All right, we're going to continue with this. He's just telling you how to put in memory sticks. And yes, I know you guys got to save your energy. You got to save your energy. You got to have a subject. That's why I have prime time. It's wide open. Anything can happen. You know why? Because I'm the original prime time. Speaking of original. This video is sponsored by Fireball. The real prime time is here. All right. We get back and see what he's doing. We got a commercial coming up in just a second. Well,
if your motherboard has 8 DIMM slots, then just follow the same process for each one. Alright, we can take this time to install our M.2 SSD. If you're not installing any in your PC, feel free to skip on to the next section. Most motherboards will have 1 or more M.2 slots, mostly located in between the PCI slots of the motherboard. In some cases, your M.2 slot can be behind your motherboard as well. This is very common in smaller form factor motherboards. You always want to install your M.2 SSDs on the top slot. Some M.2 SSDs come with its very own heatsink. As you can see here, the Corsair MP600 does have one in fact.
Meet Cheryl and Carol. They're best friends that do everything.
commercial. All right, commercial. Got it.
So unfortunately, you can't use both. You have to make a decision and decide what you want to go with. If you want to go with the motherboards covered, then simply detach the heatsink from your M.2 SSD and proceed with the video. If you want to keep the heatsink on, then do nothing and proceed with the video. We're going to need these tiny screws that came with your motherboard. Go ahead and unscrew the cover off the top M.2 SSD slot and put it to the side. If you look closely on the actual M.2 slot, you can see a notch, very similar to the memory sticks we just installed. We are going to align that notch with the gap on your M.2 SSD for the correct orientation. Once you identify where the notch is, simply insert the M.2 SSD into the slot and push down on the other end so you can finish tightening it using the small screws. If you're using the motherboard cover, make sure to peel off the plastic from the thermal pad before putting it back on top of the M.2 SSD, and then you can tighten it back up. If you have more than one M.2 SSD, just follow the same steps for each additional one you are installing. Alright, we are now ready to prep the motherboard for the cooler installation. I'm going to show you how to install the stock AMD cooler, and I'm also going to show you how to install an all-in-one cooler, also known as an AI base. As you can see here, the vents are on the bottom. So I'm going to position the power supply with the fan facing down. That way you can pull in fresh cold air from the bottom. But we do have a slight issue here, as you can see. The hard drive cage is a little too close to the power supply, and there isn't enough room for the cables. You might run into the same exact problem. So what we're going to do here is we're going to move the hard drive cage over to the left. In most cases, you are able to remove or reposition the hard drive cage. There are usually a few thumb screws holding it down. You just have to loosen those, and then you can move the hard drive cage over or completely remove it if you're not installing any hard drives. As you can see, now we have extra space for the cables. In the bag we pulled out earlier from the power supply box, you will find 4 of these screws. These are needed to secure the power supply to the case from the back. Before we get into the fun stuff, which is plugging in all the cables, we should take this time to plug in our storage devices. Go ahead and select what storage device you are installing in your PC. If you're not installing anything, skip over to the following section of the video. Before we install a hard drive, it's important to understand what cables are needed and how to plug them in. So the connections on the hard drive are located in the back. The smaller SATA cable plugs into the smaller port. The larger SATA power cable plugs into the larger port in the back. Very simple. The other end of the black SATA cable plugs into the SATA port on your motherboard, often located on the right edge of the board, usually underneath the larger 24-pin. I'll talk more about this later in the video. Alright, so now that we know how to plug in a hard drive, we are ready to install that inside the case. Locate your hard drive cage, which is usually on the bottom underneath the power supply cover. Go ahead and pull out one of the hard drive trays from the back. There are 2 ways you can hook up your hard drive to the tray. The first method is by using the 4 holes on the tray. You would just need to align these with the 4 holes on the back of the hard drive and screw them in place using these tiny screws. The second method is the one I prefer since it is the easiest and it doesn't require any tools. So there are 4 pegs attached on the inside of the tray, as you can see here. You just have to insert these pegs into the holes located on the side of the hard drive. Just insert one side of the hard drive in first and then the other. Make sure the connectors of the hard drive is facing towards the back, by the way. so that you can plug in the cables easily once you install this back inside the hard drive cage. Afterwards, you can slide the hard drive tray back into the drive cage and plug in the cables. Installing the SSD is pretty much the same as the hard drive. You can also install the SSD in any hard drive tray if you don't have any additional SSD trays. You just align the holes from the tray with the back of the SSD and screw it in place. If you don't want to install it in a hard drive tray, you can install it in an SSD tray instead. These are smaller trays specifically designed for SSDs. Most cases do come with at least one SSD tray and others come with multiple.
Whoa.
It's also very easy to spot. In most cases, they are attached on the back of the case, and in some other cases, you can find them on the top of the power supply shroud instead. Make sure the connectors are facing the back of the tray and align the SSD so that the screw holes are visible from the opposite side. You're going to need these smaller screws to secure the SSD too.
Okay, so pinpoint accuracy and that fireball was very, very good. So basically, this guy is setting up how you want to set up your PC. You want to have your motherboard. You want to have your CPU. You want to have your graphics card. You're going to have memory. You're going to have multiple hard drives. Now, it depends. How do you want to set up your system? You want to have multiple hard drives. You want to have at least, I recommend 2 or 3 terabytes. And the hard drives on your PC are a little bit cheaper than it was a couple years ago. But yeah, let me go ahead and do this real quickly. Yes, and that fireball was very, very, very good. Let me see. I think I can do this here. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Now, a lot of people want to know, how can you, I can't build a PC. I can't do it by myself. There are 2 ways you can do it. Get it from Amazon. If you're a Prime membership, get your build PC. Do it that way. Newegg. And Experience Gaming Partners. Now, Newegg and Amazon are the key distributors of PCs. If you want to design your own PC, you need to have a consultant. You could go to Jeremy, myself, or Scott. But there's a company called SkyTech Gaming. They customize your PC. You tell what you want on your computer. They can fill it up and ship it to you. Costs a little bit more money, but you have the ultimate PC that you want. Let's see here. Go ahead and play. Dun, dun, dun. All right, here we go. Really? Okay, hold on. Why are you doing that? Let's see. All right. Hopefully, if it's not a piece, yeah.
If you have that credit or little money, what if I told you you can get a camera and computer today? That's right, you heard me. No credit needed will get you the latest MacBook Air. And don't you worry, because we even have the MacBook Pro for you. And don't forget, girl, you can get yourself a 15 Pro Max.
If you don't get a post, make sure the board doesn't need a BIOS update. For boards with a BIOS flashback feature, you can just go ahead and flash it, which we'll go through next. If that doesn't work, then check all your connections again. When you get that post, you can either proceed ahead to setup or just power down and finish up the build. To finish up the build, tidy up the cable management. How tidy? Honestly, it's up to you. I mostly focus on what you can see from the front side. I'm personally an advocate of minimal rear panel cable management because you're the only person who will likely ever see it, and it's very likely this will be the last time you look at it. But if you feel the need to hyper-manage all the cables, then go for it. I just focus on making sure it's a clean-looking build on the front side and there's nothing too loose in the back. Before we jump into the BIOS flashback or setup phases, remember, if you've gotten value out of the video, please do take a moment right now and give it a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon. That way you get notified when we release cool content, like the After You Build setup guide that's coming soon, which will be linked right here when it's out. There we're going to go through the BIOS setup, Windows installation, drivers, and more. If you do need to flash your BIOS on your motherboard in order to have your CPU host, it's very easy to do, but your mother.
Okay, so let me go ahead and stop this for a second. So you built your PC, everything is ready to go. Now you're going to start your PC, start up your PC. Now, when you start up this brand new PC, you're going to have your operating system, Windows 11. I recommend Windows 11. There's also Linux. I don't know anything about that, but yeah. Windows 11 is a decent PC operating system. It's easy to do, just follow the instructions. You should have that kit. If you're going to go ahead and do it like that, to Amazon Newegg, it should be on the PC. If not, you have to buy the key for that. It's like $100, $150. It's not like back in the day when they have operating system, you buy the CD and put it in there and you start it up. When you start it up, make sure you have a disk drive in it, or you can do an MP3. Hard drive, hook it up. You can operate the system, install the operating system, follow the instructions. After you build out the CD, make sure everything is running. You go to the BIOS camp. It'll be the black screen. You'll see, just follow the instructions how to do it. It's simple. I have done that before because I had to reinstall Windows and upgrade my Windows. I have a Windows machine. My oldest Windows machine is Windows 7. I use that only for my music. Yes, I have thousands of music, and I'll be doing that this weekend because there's nothing else, and nobody's on it. We got 2 people watching. Of course, we have 2 people watching. Yes, everybody's going to the other channel. I understand it. I understand how many people are on. Ready? And saw PB better hers. Oh, they got step by step for beginners. Everyone can do it in a 3-hour show. Take notes. Yeah. Man, they got a lot. But yeah, like I said, there's a workstation. It's a basic business PC, basically saying. Then you have a gaming PC. You're going to have more 32 gigs memory. You got a DDR4. You got a graphics card for that. For the Ultimate, I'm having it for my home theater PC. As of right now, my baby is all I need. It's my computer's like 4 years old, and I'm getting ready to get out of here. But you know what? Guys, go watch that other channel. They think they're better than me. Don't forget tomorrow at 5 a.m. Star Wars, May the 4th be with you. Now I'm going to get on out of here because if you want to have more information, Fireball is good. We'll go ahead and do this. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I know everybody else is going. I got to watch my SmackDown. So we'll go ahead and get out of here. Yeah, they got another show coming at 8 o'clock. Even though they don't want to invite me, okay. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here because I'm missing SmackDown and no less talk to me. Don't forget, if you want to build a PC, it's easy. Check out YouTube. They can do it step by step. It's easy. There's a lot of people doing it. Go ahead and do it step by step. It's easy. I thank everybody coming in. Don't forget, do not drink and drive. Do not hang around with no kids to do. And always, 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 always drink responsible. Peace out. Deuces. And may the fourth be with you. We's out.